mixed martial arts specifically about a year and a half, but martial arts I've been doing ever since I was about 5th grade. I've been doing Taekwondo and did a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu growing up. And in high school, I was a wrestler just because I wasn't able to go to Taekwondo classes just because of the timing. I was a very good wrestler, but I still wrestled. And then after high school, I was wanting to go back into bodybuilding just because I missed it. But then I got a back injury. And then I looked up the mixed martial arts gym down in Plover, and then I just decided to join because it was something to, one, help me with my back, but two, just a way to stay active. Martial arts is, when we go to class, it's a combination of jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, but it's a wide variety of martial arts, from wrestling, taekwondo, karate, all of those things. And so it's just everything. My coach has been my biggest inspiration just because he's the one who's been pushing me every day. My teammates are a real big inspiration, but a lot of my life, I'm really the only one that in my friend group and in any friend group that I've had that has really been in physical fitness. So it's been a lot of self-motivation, looking at motivational videos, watching interviews, things like that.
Has participating in MMA so far, has that impacted your life in a good way?
Oh yes, definitely. Last year when I was going through some pretty dark times getting used to the medications, I had my family backing me up 100%, and it was just a great way to relieve just any stress, any anxiety, any depression that I was having. And it allowed me to have a really healthy outlet. It might seem like it's just violence, but it's really controlled and no one really gets hurt. Probably sticking to my diet was the hardest thing so far, just because a few months ago I developed an eating disorder to where I really couldn't control what I was eating. I was eating donuts, cookies, just about everything under the sun. I just could not control myself. So sticking to my diet is probably the worst thing. Wrestling definitely, it helps build up the dedication that you need to cut weight for a fight. And the bodybuilding, it definitely taught me a lot about nutrition, exercise, and just overall health and fitness. Well, I think when I first step up, it's going to be a lot of anxiety, because when I first did wrestling, as soon as I stepped up to the mat, it was just nonstop anxiety. But as soon as that whistle blew off, it just all went away. So I think I'm a very in the zone fighter. So when that bell goes off, I think I'm going to get in my zone and just put on a good performance.
What do you think the outcome of this fight is going to be?
I think I'm going to win. I am definitely planning on winning. I've played it out in my head a million times over and over again, and just me beating up on my opponent. And of course it's crossed my mind that I might lose, but I am not in it to lose. I'm in it to win it.
Hailing from Stevens Point, representing Wisconsin, Buddha.
I got the lady friend coming back. Oh.
I don't know how to describe it. I was really nervous, but then as soon as I walked through those curtains, it just went away. I was ready to get stuff done. But I did panic a little bit, because I was just like, holy crap, this is actually happening. Like, what the hell? But then leading up to it, like, actually, because what happened was I was supposed to get my hands wrapped a specific way, but we talked to the proctor, and he said, yeah, you can just use your normal hand wraps. And then that was no problem. But then later he comes back and says, the promoter or whoever, I don't remember who it was, says you can't do that. You have to get your hands wrapped. So I had to go and find one of my coaches to get my hands wrapped, but it was getting like to crunch time. Like I needed to get this stuff done. And then we were getting my hands wrapped, but then the person who was doing it did it wrong. So we had to redo it. And that was when my fight was up. So we had an intermission right before a fight before me, but we had to take a second one because my hands weren't wrapped on time. So I was kind of like, Jesus Christ, like, I want to do this, we gotta go. But the first round was definitely by far the worst. I was getting my ass kicked. Because going into it, like the practices beforehand, I was really good at keeping my hands up, really good at blocking, but all of a sudden you get in that cage and you just forget it. I was getting hit so many times. I thought I was going to get knocked out. I just could not figure out why. But then I realized I'm not keeping my hands up. Did I just forget how to block? And then that was when I realized, I was thinking like, oh God, I don't want to keep doing this. Get me out of here. Because I thought I was going to get knocked out. But then that bell rang. And then the coaches, they came. They're just like, you're doing good. Just keep your hands up. I don't remember a whole lot of what they said just because the adrenaline was so high. And they were able to get my confidence back up. And then I really came back that second round. My opponent was landing more punches than me, but I was landing a lot cleaner punches. Mine were more accurate than his, whereas his were just kind of all over the place. But I mean, first fight, I lasted all 3 rounds, and I mean, it's just definitely a learning experience.
All 3 judges sitting cage side score the contest 30-27
In favor for your winner, by unanimous decision, out of the blue corner, Devin.
It did not end the way I wanted it to. I lasted all 3 rounds, which is I'm very proud of myself for that, but I did lose. I lost by decision. I don't remember how many points I lost by. I think it was like 4 or 6, something like that. So it's not that I didn't, I mean, of course I expected to win because you got to have that mindset going into it, but I was just more disappointed that I didn't win.
Are you definitely going to fight again?
Oh, yes, definitely. But it's going to be a couple years. I need to get my training up to speed.